Benevolence, dear mortals. I'll be your curator for this evening. You can call me Whimsical William. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'd like to talk about mangas that make you want to do stuff. Mangas that inspire you to just get off the couch, get out of bed, write down a plan, just do something new, something you're scared of, something that you're passionate about, but you just haven't had the push to make you want to try it. These mangas, when you read them, the characters in the story and the story itself makes you want to just do it, whatever that may be. I'm going to talk about a few of these mangas that influence me, might influence you. But also, these mangas, although I haven't done or started to do everything that these mangas are about, they really made me think about it. They really made me think, that's something to write down on a bucket list. That's something to try. That's something to turn into a reality. Let's get into it. First manga I'm going to be talking about, Yaomushi Pedal. This is a special edition. Usually it comes in an omnibus, but this is a single volume. Yaomushi Pedal, before I started watching the anime and reading the manga, I was already very interested in bike racing, like Tour de France and the Olympics and everything like that. I was training for it. I was trying to get as fast as I could on a bicycle. I was in the best shape of my life. But when that anime came out, I actually watched the anime before I read the manga. I would watch it while I was training, and I would train harder. So it's not something that made me want to do something or start something, but it was something that made me push harder, and it continues to inspire me to this day. Whenever I feel myself getting out of shape, I'll put on a few clips of that anime, and I immediately want to hop on my bike. If it's a blizzard, if it's nasty weather outside, I'll bike in my apartment. If the weather is like good or not the best, I'll go outside and just ride and ride and ride. So a lot of sports mangas will just make you want to get active, and that's such a positive thing. You could be depressed, you could be just super busy and not in the mind state to take care of yourself. And these animes are kind of a positive push in the direction of taking care of yourself, at least your physical health. Next, let's talk about a manga called High Score Girl. This manga is pretty simple. It makes me want to be in the 90s again, but it also makes me want to just go to an arcade and play video games with my friends. Like, it's just so wholesome, and it just really shows the beauty of competitive gaming, fighting games, RPGs, adventure games. It's just a really nice read. If you watch the anime doesn't look that great, but this manga is excellent, and I highly recommend it. I don't have a lot to say because it's so simplistic. It just makes me want to play video games with friends, and not like online, but like IRL, real life experience, side by side on the couch or in an arcade, playing Pac-Man, playing Tekken, playing something. Just a great bonding experience for friends. Next, we got a manga called Welcome to the Ballroom. This manga is about dancing, but not just ballroom dancing. There's salsa in it and a couple of other, amazing forms of dance as well. I watched this anime, and it was okay. Like the animation is kind of strange. Sometimes when they're in their dancing positions, their necks get elongated. Looks a little strange, but the voice acting was good, and most of the story was there. But when I read it, the fluidity of the art and the dialogue just seemed better while reading it, and I got to read it with the voices that my mind chose for the characters versus the characters that were chosen for the voice acting parts in the anime. I must say that I just really wanted to dance. I really wanted to move. I really wanted to get serious about how my body reacts to music, not just playing music or dissecting music or trying to understand the meaning of music, but simply moving to it and showing a different type of appreciation for it. But also unlocking more forms of art. Like I paint, I draw, I do music, but dance is another form of art that I just haven't connected to or dabbled in. And this manga really made me want to do that. I haven't done it, but I've definitely had plans to, and it's definitely on my list. If you haven't watched the anime, it's pretty good actually, but I recommend the manga. But it's not as bad as High Score Girl. Like the manga and the anime aren't that far apart. It's just that the manga is just really, really well done, while the anime is not bad, but it's a bit mediocre. But the story is excellent, the characters are excellent, and the dialogue is excellent. So if you don't care about the animation that much, it's definitely worth the watch. Next, we have the beloved Initial D. This is the classic one from Tokyo Pop. One of my favorite cars of all time, the Toyota MR2 SW20. This manga really inspired me when I was younger, and it inspired me when I was older, and it continues to inspire me. When I watched the anime and when I read a couple of volumes of this, I just really wanted to learn how to drive stick shift. I watched so many YouTube videos, all the car homies, all of the automotive nerds, if you're in the comments. And you could tell me which programs you've watched, but I was addicted to Best Motoring. You got Kaiichi Tsuchiya. He's basically the brains behind this manga because you can really tell because he loves the AE86 Trino car, and the main character Takumi Fujiwara in this manga and anime also loves it. Like, he's not the writer, but he's definitely had like an influence on this particular story. I would just like look at the panels and the fluidity and the movement, just the techniques that they were talking about, left foot braking, heel toe downshifting, weight transfer, just so many different interesting like ideas to make your driving experience faster and smoother, following the line on the road. It's like an imaginary line, but like if you use a different line, you'll lose speed and you could possibly spin out or crash. It was just so exciting for me, and as a kid, like I already wanted to be like a race car driver. And getting into this anime and this manga, it made it more accessible to me. It made it seem like I could really do that. And to this day, like I'm still incredibly interested, even if it's just a hobby, like for track days and just for spirited driving. I'm really thankful that this manga and anime exists because it really guided my love for Japanese cars and just cars in general, and it really inspired me to go pick up a stick shift, and I haven't looked back. Like, it's so much fun to drive a stick shift. Like it's great, and like Americans don't appreciate it enough, and it makes me sad, but I guess I get to have them all to myself. Next, we have Blue Period. Blue Period is a newer manga about going to art college and becoming a professional artist. The anime is delightful. I would even say that the anime and looks much better than Blue Period, the manga version. I haven't finished either, so I can't say which one is better, but just reading, I think I read like 2 volumes and I watched like 3 episodes. Very, very similar. Like, both adaptations are faithful to each other. So it's all preference. Me, I prefer the art of the anime. It's just a little cleaner. But the art for Blue Period, the manga, is more unique. So it's a pick your poison kind of deal. But this manga and anime is about like throwing your rationale out of the window and living and pursuing your dreams from your heart, not your mind. Your mind tells you to be an investment banker or to do something that's lucrative, to do something that's going to secure your future, have good benefits, make good money, have an easier life. But your heart tells you, be a painter, be a singer, be creative, have fun, this is your life. The main character, Yaguchi, is really struggling with having a really good head on his shoulders, but also having a strong heart and a strong passion. And he feels really self-conscious about getting into art late in life. So he's like making up for it, drawing every day, drawing so much. And it's beautiful to watch, but this manga and anime makes you want to draw. It makes you want to paint. But for me personally, it made me want to go back to school and try to pursue something professional with art. It made me want to up my skills, to learn new techniques, and to try harder and to work harder. I don't think I'll go back to school, but I felt it like in my blood to just do something more with art. Like, I create art, but I do nothing with it. I barely sell it. I barely do anything with it. I'm learning more techniques, but the passion's not as strong as it used to be, and that manga really questioned how I see art and what art truly is to me. The last manga I have is also a manga about art. This particular manga I don't believe has an anime adaptation, so you would just need to read this. And I say read instead of want because it should be a need. It's just done so well. I probably talked about it before, but this is by the creator of Princess Jellyfish. It's called Blank Canvas. Do you want to laugh? Do you want to cry? You could do both with this one. It's a short read. I think it's like 5 volumes, but it's intense. It's just really good, really well written, very relatable and realistic characters, and just a beautiful autobiography. This is the creator's like life story. When it comes to art, there's like a lot of stuff in this manga that's probably left out, for whatever purposes and reasons, but this is her art journey. This manga makes me personally want to see my art teacher, the art teacher that like made me believe in art, that made me see art is an important thing and not just something to do. Like, he brought me out of my shell and he helped me realize that I had so much more potential than I ever thought that I could have. And the sky was the limit. I just had to decide what I wanted to do. That was such a liberating feeling and a powerful feeling to have at such a young age. I think I was like 14 years old, having the world in my hands. But instead of the world, it was a paintbrush. I was just able to convey emotions that I couldn't talk about. I was able to take the images in my head and put them down on paper. It was very therapeutic and very good for my mental health, especially at those angsty times in my life. And I got to get some confidence in myself when I won an art contest, and when I got like second place against like college students when I was in middle school. That was amazing. Yeah, my art teacher, his name was Mr. Perez. Never forget this guy. And this manga made me want to pay him a visit and to just thank him again for believing in me and for showing me how vast and beautiful the world of art could be. Like, there's just so much to it, and it's very easy to be overwhelmed by it or engulfed by it. But the cool thing about art is no matter what you do, no matter how many times you mess up, how many mistakes you make, art is going to be there waiting for you. You could turn your back on art. Art would never turn its back on you. And that is the beautiful thing about art and the creative endeavor in general. The things that we do, we could lose access to them. Our hands could break. We could go into a coma. We can get really sick, really frail. It's gonna be there. If we can't do it, it'll be around us happening. It's just never gonna die. It's never gonna fade. And that makes me want to never die and never fade, because I want to keep being by art's side and being by creativity's side, and to work along with it and to work through it and allow it to work through me to magic. But yes, this manga makes me want to see my art teacher, makes me want, just like Blue Period, it makes me want to work harder and just be a better artist and to just get up and just create something. It doesn't have to be perfect. It could be a sketch. It could be a doodle. It could be practicing statues at the art museum, drawing a portrait of a friend, drawing a self-portrait, just doing something. And that is the power of manga. It's written well. The characters are relatable. If you can care about the characters, it could make you get up and do something. That's the video. That's what I wanted to talk about. Mangas that make you want to do something. Are you depressed? Are you anxious? Are you uncertain? Whatever it is that makes you feel analysis paralysis or just stuck, read a good manga. It might shift your perspective. It might move the cogs in your brain that move the ligaments joints in your body to get you to do something that you need to do. Sometimes we don't have the means to do the things that we need to do. We could physically do it, but we just don't have the energy, or we're not in our right mental state. Sometimes all it takes is a good phrase, a good cry, a good character, a good story, and our spirits are lifted and we are able to push forward and to try. And we don't see falling short as a failure. We see falling short as another opportunity to do something different or to do something more. That's the beauty of it. Until next time, if you like what I'm talking about, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.